Welcome to Resin 101. As I was just saying, it is extremely easy and very forgiving, and you can use this on anything. So I'm going to give you lots of examples, but really what I want to do today is just give you a sense of how easy it is to experiment, so that when you want to do bigger things, when you want to work with different materials, you can use this on anything. Textiles, paper, nothing at all. It's really easy. So the two warnings, the only two warnings I have are do not get it on your clothes, do not get it in your hair. You will regret. So be very careful. Always wear gloves. You don't need to wear a mask, because this brand and most of the other brands will say the no VOC. You don't need masks. The only time you will need a mask is if you decide to use the mica powder. Then you're going to have to take your gloves off, mix it, do what you need to do, but with a mask on. Because, take the mask, I'm saying take your gloves off when you put your mask on, because if you have resin on your gloves, it will get in your hair, and you'll regret. So, yeah. Easy as pie. Exactly. You have two elements. Okay, easy. You have two, most of you have, has anybody used this before, resin? Okay, so easy. You have your resin and your hardener. Equal amounts of each. The way I do it is I always use a measured cup, disposable. Try to always work on a disposable surface, because cleaning the mat, this is what you'll use for drying your items, but like when you're working with it, when you're mixing, when you're putting the resin on your stuff, it just creates such a mess that it's easier to just use palette paper or some other non-stick surface. So you're just gonna open, you can take your bottles, there's a couple of them there. I think you have to get the, and you're gonna measure out. My advice is start small. So maybe go to like 1.5 ounce, and then go to 3 ounce with the other. So do half and half, just the same amount, and then don't go past 2 ounces, like for each thing, because 4 ounces of this stuff goes a really, really long way. Especially when you're using it to cover. So I'm going to go ahead and do pour, I'm just going to do 1 ounce. No, I'm going to do 1.5, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of my resin. Doesn't matter at all which order. You can do either one first. Doesn't make a difference. Sorry, I should have taken these out before. And I'm going to do another 1.5 ounces. The cups are always marked kind of differently. Doesn't make any difference. You'll see. Once you start using this stuff, it's so forgiving. It really, it's kind of hard to mess it up. So, but do put your tops back on right away, because the hardener will harden if you don't. So you have your little mixture. Here, minute, so you can just mix, just half and half. That's all you need to do for now. Okay.
Do we put the red parts back in, or just the lid?
No, you can take those out. Those are just for when you first buy it. Those, because those are new. Hey, come on in. Take a seat. Okay, so Teddy, I was just saying my whole spiel about it's super easy. Have you worked with resin before? Tiny bit. Okay, it's so easy, very forgiving. Love this brand because it's no VOCs. It's easy to use, non-yellowing. You'll see, it's very, very easy. There's more around. So you're just going to take, you have your hardener and your resin, just half and half, equal amounts, and we're using measured disposable cups because it's just the easiest way to do it. And you're going to keep all your work on this because it's really messy. I was saying, like, make sure you use gloves and don't touch your clothes or your hair because it will stick really badly.
Is this just like wax paper?
It's just palette paper. It's like the regular palette paper that you buy for oil painting. Yeah. But you can use freezer paper instead of this if it's cheaper, just whatever.
So anything wax?
Anything wax that's like a non-stick surface. I'll show you why later. You could, to do the actually like just brushing it on, you can use any paper, but you want to make sure that when you, this is going to be a lot easier if you have things that you're actually like brushing and finer, like thinner layers.
How long it get hard?
Like Fred.
How long it get hard?
It takes 24, okay, so this is the thing. So this, you're just stirring, you're gonna mix it really, really well for 60 seconds. Right now, you're just stirring. And you'll see it gets very bubbly, very like tons of little tiny air bubbles. And I'll show you how to get those out later once it's on your piece that you want to make. But right now, you're just mixing it so that the hardener and the resin can create that chemical reaction. It does take 24 hours to harden, to cure. So when you make your pieces today, they're not going to be ready until tomorrow. So they'll just be in here curing. Okay, so you have your mixture. If you want, what I did was right here, I separated it into smaller cups so that I can show you just some of the different ways to color it if you want to. Perfectly fine if you just want to use clear resin to highlight the painting, the underpainting, or whatever you have. So you can use it just plain. or there's tons of different options. Okay. Okay, again, if you decide, I'm gonna show you with the mica powder first. So I'm gonna wear a mask because it's super fine and you don't wanna be breathing it in. It's not toxic, but it's just, it will get in your lungs. Okay, so. Everything with the resin, whether you're using the dye, alcohol ink, or mica powder, how much you put in is how opaque it will be. So if you want it to be very, very translucent, just use a little bit, and if you want it to be more opaque, use more. Sorry, I'm going to say that again for Daniel. Okay, so in order to make it more opaque, you're going to use more dye or more mica powder, depending on the opacity. The less you use, the more translucent it will be. Okay, so this one, I'm just going to put a little bit of, just going to shake it in there. You don't need much. You really don't need much color, so I'm gonna take this one, and you're gonna see it creates like this very, very shiny, kind of shimmery, like geode-like coloring, so you can see the powder, but when it's on the paper or whatever, it just gives it like a kind of shimmer. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually use a little bit of this just to show you what happens if you don't use a substrate. This is no substrate. I'm just gonna pour it onto here a little bit. And you can actually create little forms with it. And that's just gonna dry. That's just gonna cure what happens. So just so you see what it looks like when there's nothing under it. Okay. So that's with mica powder. Okay, so that's with mica powder. Now I'm going to show you with a little bit of alcohol ink, which doesn't, I'm hoping it works well with this one. It doesn't actually blend in as well with the resin, so it almost creates like a marbled effect.
So that's a liquid metallic pigment.
See how it like gets suspended in there? Like you can see that it's just suspended in the, so it doesn't have, it like doesn't mix in with the resin really. It kind of floats in there. So that's alcohol ink. And this is metallic, but not all of them are. But it still gives that sort of, like it's floating suspended in the okay, that's alcohol ink. Okay, and then there's also a special like fluid pigment that you can buy specifically for resin. And this, you really need almost none. I mean, you need just a tiny, tiny bit in order to give it color, but it is, so this is like a very translucent paint, or ink, I guess. So if anybody wants to play with any of these, there's a ton of colors of mica powder, ton of different colors of paint. I'm gonna just go through the demonstration of the different materials, and then you can come up and just grab whatever you want. Okay, so, again, super easy. Like paper, you can use a brush. I don't unless it's a really fine layer. I just take a little bit, pour it onto the palette paper so that I can get both sides. I'm gonna just kind of rub it in, push the paper around on the bottom so it gets on the back and the front, turn it over. It's completely self-leveling. So even if it looks a little messy when you're doing it, it's gonna level completely flat. So you're just trying to get, so there I just put a thin layer on. I don't want it to be too thick. You can do it thicker, but you don't have to. So that's literally all there is to it. So I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to put it on my silicone mat and let it dry. Okay, just to show you how you can use anything. So I'm going to use a little bit of super fine cheesecloth, just with a tiny. This is almost transparent. You can see. I'm literally just going to pour it right on there, mush it around on this palette paper, try and get it. Again, if you want to be a little tidier, you can use a brush, but you don't really have to. If you're working in your own studios and you have your silicone mat, you can work right on your silicone mat, but it's harder to get, then you don't have a clean space to actually let it cure. See here you have, it's basically going to dry like that. It's going to cure.
Should you use this in fabric to stiffen it, or would it resin?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%, yes. Okay, I'm going to use one of Yee's feathers. See how that turns out. I'm going to put a little gold on there. See what happens. I've never done feathers before. It looks like it's going to be beautiful. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to show you is there are these tiny little molds, right? So I'm going to take something, put it in there. Just one of these little votive things. Of course, I have resin all over my hand. You put this guy in here, and then just pour a little bit of resin over him. Actually, I'm going to lift him up so he has some underneath him too. And I'm going to let that cure, again, completely self-level. Now, all of of these things have little bubbles in them still. So everything has little bubbles as they, you know, because we just stirred it, so you've gotten a little air in there. So that's why, once you're ready, like you want to let it dry like this, you want to have it cure like this, you're going to take a heat gun and just, I'm going to put it on too. Be careful with paper because it will burn. And then you're just going to kind of run it, just hold it over, not like moving it so it doesn't burn, and you'll immediately see little bubbles bursting. If you, like there's areas where the liquid, like here, because it's not perfectly even, it's kind of self-leveling funny, so you gotta get it into the corner and make sure that the whole, all the paper is covered. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can see the bubbles popping. That is it, guys. That's all you need to do.
Man, could you use a hairdryer?
You know, these are more like hair dryers. These are actually craft guns. Sorry, I need to, okay, that whole part didn't record, so I'm gonna re-say it. You just use the heat gun to get the bubbles out. Don't hold it too closely. It will, if it's paper, some things can burn, but you're gonna move it around not too close to the plastic and you'll see the bubbles bursting. So yes, you can use a hair dryer. You can use, if you want to do a, like a little panel, I think some of you brought like little panels, it will, like for the pictures, it will have a tendency to like level itself, not perfectly flat. Like if there's a little curve, you'll see that it levels in the middle a little thicker.
Is there a way to like add a layer to suggest the shape first, let that dry and then?
100%.
Okay.
So you can layer, you can let it cure and then add on a different color layer, a different, you know, a different shape. It's super easy to use. You just have to let it cure correctly the first time and then redo it. It's very easy to fix flaws because of that. I was saying about the self-leveling. One of the ways, like for the photographs, for example, maybe you can use double-sided tape and just kind of stick it down. Do something to keep it level if you really want it to be flat. But most of the flaws that happen, you can correct for. You can correct either with a second layer or, so yeah, a lot of it is just experimenting. And sometimes what looks really good with the resin is that it like spills out or there's little flaws or it takes the shape of the fabric so it makes it kind of bubbled, but it actually ends up looking really good. If you guys want mica powder, there's tons of extra masks here. If you want alcohol ink, if you want the dye, Yi was very nice and brought some little things to play with here, which I'm gonna actually play with in your mirrors. So yeah, please feel free. If you want a brush, like for your photographs, that might be easier for you to kind of get it into the corner. So if you want to use a brush, you can. So all, I'm just gonna say this again. All of the materials here, if you wanna use anything, this is just to play with. So just experiment whatever you want to play with. There's also a couple of these little molds, I think William has one, but there's a little pyramid. If anybody wants to work with that, play with it, go for it.
Is it on this paper, will it stick to this paper?
No, if you let it dry on that paper, yes. What do you mean? Oh, you're saying you let it dry?
So like, so should I do this guy on this? Because I'm gonna touch down on the paper and brush it on to get it.
So you should do that here. Yeah, so do that on here.
I'll just like over this one.
You can draw right on here, this is what it'll come right off. It'll walk off.
Maybe I need a silicone mat.
Yeah, here, so there's not silicone maps for everybody, but yeah, here, you can have this one if you want. Oh, let me say something about silicone maps. This is the shiny side, and this is the matte side. If you want it to be shiny, then you need to dry it on the shiny side. Yeah.
I made a lot of silicone sheet in my studio. I use silicone to make soda sheet.
Oh, yeah.
The more red Resin things like that. Well, the should more on that.
You should, it's easier to do it that way, but the only thing is that you kind of have to go on here and put away what spills out and let it come to the actual Then you can just do it on there and you can hold it on and dry it here. Because you can't really dry it on like that because it will stick. So, yeah, probably better to kind of get out of my brain.
They got breaking down. All done. It's okay. I'll walk myself out.
That looks so cute.
How much should you say the resin powder again? Like,
I mean, you don't need a lot. Add a little and then see if you like it, and then you can always add more.
Cause I just want it to be like sheerly like. blue.
Then a tiny bit.
Okay.
Yeah, really less than you think.
Okay. Perfect. I'll put that.
So Natalie had a great question about kind of making a composition first and then putting the resin on it. And it's best to glue it first, then put the resin on while it's on the palette paper, and then transfer the whole thing to cure to the silicone mat.
Is there any way to thicken the consistency of the resin before? Because I was trying to like write words and I was losing it, just sort of.
That's really hard because it's self-leveling. You need to get the forms. There are sell forms for letters, like so where you
That are
can,
silicone.
or you can make out of silicone. You can kind of create your own out of silicone. I do have more silicone mats. They're not the cleanest, but and these are all. Here.
Is it best to do it in parts if you don't, so it self-levels and then weights and then do it again? Or will this spread out the longer distance?
Yes,
So now imagine I should stop here,
yes. And then just wait for it to.
wait for it to set, do this
Yeah.
one instead.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, do it in smaller layers. Yeah.
Sorry,
That's okay, don't worry. So you did have it out, right? And you're just gonna stir it really well. And then there's all kinds of different, like I showed that, there's mica powder, so this one is a little bit of, let me put my glove back on. There's This one is just a little bit of mica powder, so it keeps its transparency. And I put probably even too much in there, but you don't need much at all to give it color, but it gives it that shimmer. This one is with a tiny, tiny bit of ink, and so depending on how transparent you want it. Okay, so you don't need to add anything to it.
already have color.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you don't need to add anything to it then. And you're just going to basically either paint on, or the way I do it, I just pour onto the palette paper and then kind of smush the back in so that the back gets really covered, and then paint the front on if you want it both sides with resin, which is better to do because you can do it with that. Grab one of those. You can paint both sides, and then you're just gonna let it cure here. But I was saying, like, you can cut the resin after. You can, you know, it's super forgiving. You can add a layer if you want later, another layer. I'm gonna show you how you're just gonna heat it to get the bubbles out. You know, you're gonna see there will be bubbles. Actually, with the brush, there are fewer bubbles, but you still want to give it that heat to just make sure all the air is out of it.
You're making chocolate layer on your ice pop.
As you eat it, you're seeing the bubbles from the bottom come up now. Yeah.
It's too fragile to be an artwork. There's still bubbles coming up, so I think just keep heating it.
I've actually never done it this deep, this thick.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was gonna move it back in.
Yeah, well, I'm done it. Long time is good. I'm just done with it. Brush it off. No, there's that, yeah, and then the silicone I made is not that flat.
It's hollow, so
It's bubbling out of there, yeah.
looks like
I don't know if that's the air, that might be what's happening, the air's coming out of the nut. I'm not really sure. Here, I'll do it for us. Did you bring this one over?
Are these things usable for us? I think it's like the area where the resin wasn't on the picture as much. But this one was kind of on the edge of it.
Practice.
So it's really pretty.
Actually, that one looks cool because it's like almost the color of the.
Yeah, some of them. I do.
Oh, that is
really cute.
the other thing, the emerald green too.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks kind of cool and interesting and beautiful, but I have no idea why it's doing that.
It has to be just.
Instead of coloring, somehow it's recoloring the.
I should kind of make more too. So crisp. Really? Ooh, yeah.
Try this little.
This is interesting. And it makes no difference. Ooh, man,
Yeah, you probably wanna change your gloves or just take them off. You don't want to take your gloves off.
What if Chris met you or
Oh,
something?
well,
because the resin kind of darkens the paper a little bit. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't need to pour on them.
No, you don't need to do anything, just you need to do this and it'll dry shiny, because it's just, it'll self-level and make it shiny. It's awesome, it's little.
Right? Nice and better. I'm trying to find, I found a can that was like, ooh, I might.
There's hands, there's feet, there's all kinds of like arm, there's little frames and balls, like very, very nice again.
100% yes.
Let's do all those. So much to play with.
Just like,
So much to play with.
can't go comfortable with it. I think there has to be some point of
Here,
obvious.
these are the penny loaves. Yeah, so fun, I love it.
And then he proceeds to describe this immense detail. And I
Do at the end of the hard to do. I like the, oh my gosh, wait, this is this. Is that yours? Oh my gosh, that was really cool. So you bought this separately and you put it in there? That's such a good idea.
I want to put something on my beard.
Oh, yeah, it won't matter. It won't matter. Because it's not that hot. I mean, here. Just, yeah, we'll put on the lower side. So you definitely get these bubbles, especially on something like this. See how it's like, yeah,
Bubbles can't hurt.
There's only two.
Yeah, I'm looking for the video jobs.
You're on these. Yeah, no, you should be fine.
Right, it's not too bad. Like there's something from you and everything. So sometimes, to be honest, my suggestion is like stay in the middle of the night rather than because you probably can work, but
And they asked me for the translation, and so
no, you probably can try to find like a Turkish big rock. I don't know.
how can you make the
I don't know. It's kind of hard, but some people can do like maybe
Cora, how perfect do you want yours? Do you want to get some more bubble sound?
I think it's fine. The some bubble is actually under the paper that you can't get out.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, maybe it's fine. I just need like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other surface is like matte. Yes.
They chew your surface.
This one?
Yeah, the other surface.
Under
Yes.
surface, yeah.
But this one is like, see, the one bubble is under the paper. Not just if I want to make it representative because it actually requires, one time it's on one side, one time on the other side.
The thing is with the bubbles, can I just try one more for you? Is with the bubbles, they won't, once they're in there and they
You know,
they won't come out.
yeah, it just stays.
See how, see how the bubbles popping? I think it's gonna, I mean, I don't know, put a. It's just, yeah, see how it's just so much, you see, yeah, just the big ones at least, so that anyone's very fine or. Yeah, there's definitely some under,
Yeah.
but they actually don't look bad at all, because they're kind of white,
Yeah.
yeah, they can do it a little.
I don't mind it. Those are a lot. Those like never.
I know. Are you gonna cut it back out?
Yeah, I can cut it, yeah, so the edges.
Yeah, yeah, just don't matter, right? Yeah, it looks really smooth. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, just under that, yeah.
No,
Yeah, but it's gonna run, it's as soon as it cures, it's gonna run like that. Yeah.
If you want to chip it off, just like, find a scraper. Yeah, well.
It's not really candy until I'm working on four.
It's not fat.
Yeah, I'm trying to get everything everywhere. Oh, the head is up. I want the rest of it. That's how it goes. It's like, oh, this was 60. Oh, okay. It's fine. I'm back tonight. Like, hello, everyone.
Oh, don't move it. It's just like, I think yours still has a magnet on the back. So when you move, it stops charging. Where is it? Take your clothes off to see where is it.
You can take off the case.
How do I take it off?
Just like pop out. It's
So, it looks so good.
Your phone says all. Cause I know Samsung phone is like,
That's such a cool discovery. You said that old photos.
what did it do?
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing. Wait, can we put the trash in the trash?
yes, you could put trash in the trash.
I'm gonna go with the yes on that. I mean, really, when is that not a yes?
Wait, did you already resin that? How did you do that? Oh, that was already in. Oh, so it's on the top of the box? or-
Yeah, it's dripping.
Oh, so cool.
So you grab.
I love the Clerc. They're so fun.
This is Logan, right? This is,
I think this is this is
yeah. No, that was left or right. I tried to move mine out of the way so that people could put theirs, yeah, there you go. You put it right on top.
I like this, the way you take your crumple the paper, I think.
Mm.
When it's all crumpled and
Yeah.
it's like, sorry, I was gonna say that, keep that on.
I love how the face is like recognized.
Listen, I don't listen.
I can find much thing, but I feel like if I place this kind of.
Couldn't I just wipe it off?
Yeah. I love it. More use out this is
You're welcome to try
I think also definitely works. Like, you're welcome to try
this.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not gonna keep the shape. It's a little
If
bit
you
hard
have
to.
special versions.
Just use that one. Actually, we have it's already broken. The only thing is it's not very, they're not very clean. Here, this one you can cut up, because it's not very clean. You can put it in.
Snake is like, fuck. Should be second.
After you call, I will be sure. If you're working.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be.
This one for a long time.
Look at the swirls.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw it.
You didn't even cut it front, right?
I thought a lot on the phone, and this was,
Oh, okay.
This one, I bring this over.
Well, you did, so still.
yeah, no, it doesn't work.
Ready for summer.
Almost. I'm gonna put it in.
It'll smooth out a lot. And then if there's a little edge, I'm scared to see it.
We'll come back.
Because yeah, you always.
Here, actually, I don't have more maps, but, if somebody wants to lay some stuff in here, if you're running out of space, this is gonna be on the surface.
That's what looks really nice. It's just like,
I have,
yeah. It's much beyond this. Right. It's much beyond like this.
yeah, I think it's so cool with the,
Yeah.
with the.
With the rest of the gold. There's a little ring. Come to resin. Rhinestone. I think, yeah. But I think, no, shit, this is matte. It's gonna be foggy.
That's okay, I can adjust.
I'm gonna go bathroom, sorry.
yeah, you can draw with this. Oh, yeah, you can definitely draw with it. The only thing is it will,
Spread.
it'll flatten out a little bit, but like in a really thin line like that, not that much.
Yeah, it's not good. Mike, can we use this?
Of course, yeah. I just, it's a little messy, but.
Oh, yeah, no.
then it doesn't matter.
Now I finally know what the kind of joints that I have.
Yeah, we have to clean it right away. Because once it gets on stuff, are you done with that? Second day. I think it's gone and we should use like a regular dish soap. Sure.
We'll make a little.
Yeah, we were all.
Maybe somebody touched it, that's made the sound. First aid. I'm like, I was in class today, so I'm like, I actually want to, I don't want to go there. But it's all because this reset, but somebody messed up the reset. Yeah, you just bring it up.
I was craving this.
Where you were.
But it was taking a lot of time to play. We waited for like 3 minutes. But it was like length.
Oh, nice.
It's confusing,
And
yeah.
I just
Because when I set up, I
Make
figured
it
it was
look
Yeah, and then you can.
yeah.
You just didn't know if you were coming to say.
Oh, no. No, I'm sorry. I'm not coming to read it. Okay, it's fine. Oh, really? He's like, yes, my food's not good.
Fingerprints not gonna cut it, and you never cut it.
I know.
Long shot. One of our games today.
Yeah, I also did uploads to the Insta. Yeah, I saw the email as well. So there's an all listed.
sort of like together and like, you gotta type that from that. Like I wanted to ask you that. Yeah, and so like I was like, they started the interview process and they were just like, I want you to be like,
Yeah.
we're like,
Like,
just like,
those
extroverted. We could be like interesting, we could be like, be yourself, funny or like, and they want to see like, this is, and they just tell other people. Yeah, they don't tell us about their ideas. So it's and it's usually like, it's really hard. And so they come up and then it's for the they're gonna take care of the art students. And so it's energetic. But essentially because actually like meet everybody and then the patients pick you and I have availability. So it's never just I'm like, I don't know, she's one-on-one. Yes. Yeah, when I'm their caregiver. You work with their caregiver, so if they are, then actually goes to their so that they can help. So it's like, it's not like anything has hurt. And it's completely fine. It's crazy. So I've never found, I mean, like there are 2 other hospitals in the country that do it this way, but I mean, it's a really big deal. So it was a really awesome experience. And I was like, okay, I gotta find this. And it was just like, so I started interviewing for it, and they've done 5 interviews, and they're very similar. And then they make you do like a 60-minute session, which I've also been interesting information, like, you know, it's like people have diverse, some people have more than some people. Yeah. Most everything.
solar.
No.
Probably 4 days.
Oh.
I was cleaning it for 2 days. I was wiping it, like, wiping it, you know.
Oh, that's
But it's fine. They're doing the right thing.
yeah.
I work with somebody. But anyway, now I think I should have given us that over.
Yeah, because usually you
How
have
I
like
got
long
time.
time. Yeah, which is like,
So I'm like, they say
yeah,
that my cats, they are by themselves.
yeah.
Next
Exactly.
week, like, one of the,
Yeah. This makes sense.
So I get it, and I feel like I don't want to be yeah. Exactly. Being awkward. Never know. Really? For me, yeah, like the only person I've ever, I would ever be like, hey, do you like them too? Like their dog? No.
Oh my god, my cat is kind of feisty.
Really?
Yeah, my cat, this one.
Cute. I get so excited, and then I just go,
I know what you're talking about.
So great.
So that's coaching. Reason matters.
I love
Reason is hungry, and then I added this.
I go out, I go down 295, but yeah, that's where.
So it even kind of all texture, but it's maybe more mustard.
Send me the address, that's perfect, and I'll just.
I should have been more surprised. This one. You can mix the or you could just like use just that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like an iron powder that is there. It's turmeric, madder, and coaching. So bundle life is like madder, and coaching. Madder is like the root of the madder plant, and it makes this great red. That's what it is. But cochineal is actually an insect that eats a certain cactus in Canada and other parts of South America. Yeah, exactly. It's the same button. Same button.
Okay, everybody, 1 second, just attention. So this stuff looks amazing. You all did such beautiful work. It needs to cure for 24 hours. So we're just gonna leave it here on the silicone mats, and then people can come and grab it as they want. You'll see it just peels up. If you wanna help out by kind of peeling off any of the other silicone, the other resin that's stuck on there, just to clean the area around your work. But other than that, that's all there is. Now we're just gonna throw away everything that is palette paper, anything that has silicone on it, all the disposable cups and everything. We'll just pitch that, make sure the tables are nice and clean, and then you can come get your stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.